Quite a few things have changed in the recent update, and Brandenburg, despite being one of my favorite countries, is still absolutely trash. But we're gonna turn it into an amazing country today with the cunning use of the human brain, okay? We're gonna use this thing here. That's right, that's all you need to become a champion at the EU4, boys. That's it, nothing else. Alright, so the first thing we'll be doing is, of course, our estates, but it's gonna be different today. It's not your regular estate, so pay attention. Don't skip this part. I know 90% you skip my estates. You should never do that. It's very important. Makes the difference between a horrible and a not horrible EU4 player. Alright, so we're gonna give out the +1 mana privilege for all 3 of these estates, and we're also giving out the patronage of the arts, and that's it. Nothing else. We're not giving out anything else. Why is that, Ludi? You normally give out so many things. Well, it's because it's a special video, and also because we want to keep our influence as low as possible, since whenever we take lands from other countries, if we have low influence for the estates, we get more crownlands. So instead of getting 5% crownlands from taking all of Volgast, for example, we get 9% crownlands. So we fix our crownland situation super fast. Of course, we will still be seizing the lands, and we're also going to be summoning the Diet to go for whichever agenda we can do. There you go, Stettin. We get a claim on Stettin. Not bad. I don't think I'm going to be attacking Stettin first, though, but let's see. It depends on the alliance set, which gets me to the second thing of this video, which is, who do I attack first? Do I attack Magdeburg, Stettin, Lüneburg, Mecklenburg? Attack depending on whatever RNG you get, my boys. So if I attack Magdeburg in my video, that's my RNG. You attack whoever you can, and whoever you feel like you can actually defeat fast. So we're gonna wait until the 30th of November first. Before we do that, though, we're also gonna be recruiting our free company here in the province of Rüpen. And we're going to be making both of our leader and our heir as generals for the armies, and we're going to assign each to one of the 2 armies that we start with, as well as we're going to get our alliance with the Austrians. Austria almost always wants to ally you because they want to ally the electors, and guess what? You are one of the electors. You're part of the cool kids, okay? For once in your lifetime, you're part of the cool kids, I said. Also want to mention that getting the PU over Bohemia early game is not possible anymore because Bohemia in this patch starts with a desire for Sternberg, which means that you cannot get that royal marriage with them anymore, even though you insult their rivals or anything of the sorts. So keep that in mind. That's old meta at this point. So every single day that passes after the 11th of November, you want to fill up your alliances and ally the electors. You can have 3 elector allies as well as the emperor himself, the Austrians. In my case, I went for the Saxons because they're next to me, so they're gonna get less aggressive expansion whilst I expand at their doorsteps. One more day, and now we're gonna go for mines. Sadly, we cannot get any more elector alliances because everybody else hates us, but we're gonna get something that's not too bad. Namely, we're gonna get Hesse, since Hesse is right next to our potential target here of Brunswick, since they just allied Volgast. And speaking of Volgast, Volgast is your priority in the early game. The sooner you take this land, the sooner you get your missions enacted, and the sooner you get access to the rest of the mission tree and the rest of the permanent claims. So a lot of the times they ally either the Brunswicki, they ally Bohemia, Poland, I've seen them ally sometimes, even Burgundy. It really is super RNG. And if you cannot go for Volgast, alternatively what you can do is you can go for Mecklenburg and Lüneburg. The idea is that after you get these 2 provinces, you need 5 more provinces to do the rest of your missions, and that's either these 2 nations or this 1 nation. And taking Volgast is less aggressive expansion. That's why I prefer to take Volgast, since the provinces are pretty low development compared to these 2 here. Normally, what I recommend you guys do if you want to have the best min-maxed start ever is wait until the 30th of December, do everything that I just did, and on the 30th of December, depending on the alliance sets that certain nations got, either restart the game because you just started, obviously, or continue with this if you're happy with it. So for my case here, Lüneburg's allied to Verdun. That is ooh la la, amazing, because I can take both of these countries out at the same time. Volgast is with Brunswick. Magdeburg has nobody so far, so this is my primary target here for my humiliation humiliation war. Stettin also has nobody, so again, I'm gonna get Stettin as my second rival, and for the third rival, I am gonna be going for Brunswick, and the reason for that is because they allied Volgast. So either Brunswick or Volgast is a-okay, but if I get Volgast, I can get more war score out of them in the same war with Volgast, whilst I just fully annex Volgast. Now, the thing is, though, I'm gonna wait until the 11th of December to get my third rival, because if I do get Brunswick as a rival now, the chances of them allying Magdeburg, if they are not rivals and they're not rivals, are freaking high. That means instead of making my life a lot harder by getting that alliance between Magdeburg and Brunswick, I just wait for a few more days and that's it. Alright, looks like we got the Imperial Ambition, which means we got one extra diplomat because 2 nations are voting for us, the nations we allied as expected. That's why also you want to ally electors at the beginning of the game. Now it is the 11th of December and we can attack Magdeburg. They allied Lüneburg, which is really not that bad because Lüneburg's pretty easy to take out as well. However, Stettin does not have any alliances, so Stettin for a humiliation war would be super freaking easy. So it would make sense for me to just attack Stettin now, not have to worry about any rivals or anything of the sort. However, if I do attack Stettin, that's gonna take me a very long time to siege down the province of Stettin because it is a level 3 fort, it's a capital fort with a regular castle in it, and it is adjacent to a sea tile, and I don't have a ship, or better yet, I don't have a fleet to blockade this, which means it can take up to 600-700 days or 200 days depending on my luck really, and I don't want to be at the mercy of luck, so I'm gonna attack Magdeburg because they have an inland fort that is a lot easier to take overall. But before we attack them though, remember we also got to get the third rival. We're gonna go for Volgast actually, this way they might ally Stettin once we attack Magdeburg, and Stettin with Volgast in the same war is really not much of a big issue for me, and we can thus declare our war here. Booyah Schnakadoski, let's go boys. Should be a fairly easy Stack and Vipen for the army of Magdeburg. They're trying to run away, but they're not going to be able to run away. Let's go, boys. Give me a couple of good rolls. I got a freaking 0 and a 3 and another 0. Oh my freaking god. Are you kidding me? And another 3. Wow. All right. Fair enough. I did not get good rolls. Let's go for the new chancellery. And oh, okay. We got the Neumark event. Fate of Neumark. We got the 2 provinces there. Guys, take note with the 2 provinces. You can get the provinces even though you are at war. The only requirement in order to get the provinces is to have less than 4 loans. So that's why you do not take the burgher loans at the start, unless you can take it and then just pay off a couple of them so you have 3 loans, but you don't need it, at least not until you get the Neumark event. After you get the Neumark event and you get a minus on your treasury, well, then you can just get the burgher loans as regular since it doesn't matter anymore. Now that we got that, we also can do the mission Reclaim Neumark, so we got permanent claims on the entirety of Pomerania, and we're also going to try and stack wipe these boyos here before they manage to reinforce each other. Now, because these guys have movement locked, I can just intercept them in the province of Magdeburg and kill them off here. There you go. Always try and plan these battles whenever you see them. Now again, wait until every single one of these armies have movement locked. That means the little icon over there is locked. We did eventually manage to stack wipe Magdeburg in Lüneburg for that matter, and now we can just leave our mercenary units to siege down the capital of Lüneburg, and the rest of the army can just siege down the rest of the enemy provinces. It's also a really good idea to have a spy network in every country that you are at war with, because spy networks increase the siege ability that you have, and at the early part of the game you want to get as much prestige as possible since it lowers your aggressive expansion, and aggressive expansion is your greatest bane in the HRE itself, which is why we're going to make them cancel their rivals, so that gives us a lot of prestige, as well as I'm going to make them give me war reparations for a little bit of extra cash, since I also need cash in the early game obviously. Magdeburg's down as well, so let's kill off their army. I could probably get what I want from them as it is, but I'm actually going to kill off the army so I get a little bit of extra army tradition, since army tradition overall makes your armies a lot stronger, and in the early game it's one of the easy ways to improve your quality, well, to improve the quality of your troops, that is. So by getting the show of strength, we are going to be getting 100 of each mana points, which means we should be the first nation to get all 3 technologies with a little bit of luck, since we're gonna have way more mana points than everybody else has unless we use that mana point somehow. And that's pretty much why you do this war in the first place. And of course I get the event that either lowers my prestige or mana, because why wouldn't I? So as I was saying before, you gotta mold yourself on whatever RNG you get, which is why I'm not attacking Volgast just yet, since they are guaranteed by the Teutons, and this can happen, so that would be a pretty tough war. And in order that to help with the tough war, I'm gonna do another war against Stettin this time, which is a lot easier than the war against Volgast, since they're only allied to Anhalt. I will not co-belligerate Anhalt since they have also strong alliances, but I'm gonna use my Conquest CB against Stettin and swiftly kill off both of their armies. Avec le boom, and there's no more units around. Oh wow, Goslar is such a jackal, man. They attacked Magdeburg now that I killed off Magdeburg's armies and stuff. For real? They don't even have enough troops to siege down the city. No! Oh, they deleted the castle! They deleted the castle, so now Goslar does have the troops to siege this. Oh my boy. If Goslar takes these lands, that is perfect, because that means Goslar is not gonna be a free city anymore, and I can just attack Goslar at my doorstep here. Oh, what? Volgast just declared war on Stettin. Oh, this changes everything, dude. Holy freaking snaps. Okay, so if Volgast declared war on Stettin, I don't need to attack Volgast anymore and have to fight Teutons and Brunswick. I can just vassalize Stettin, and with Stettin as my vassal, I'm in a defensive war against the aggressor Volgast, which means I take less aggressive expansion for taking their provinces. And what was I saying, boyos? There you go. We got our first for innovativeness. Oh my god, 711 days. I called it, didn't I? I said it's gonna take a lot of years to siege down Stettin. I know what I'm saying, god schnappeldoop. Alright, let's kill off our rebels before we do that peace deal though. So here's the big dilemma, right? I was gonna vassalize both Stettin and Anhalt, but because I did not co-belligerate Anhalt, it's gonna take me 10 aggressive expansion just to vassalize these guys. And if I get that 10 aggressive expansion, I cannot fully annex Volgast, which I'm obviously very interested in, directly owning all of those lands. So I'm just gonna basically let Anhalt live for now. You're very lucky, Anhalt. You have no idea how lucky you are right now. And when it comes to Stettin, obviously we're gonna enforce our vassalization of them, ask them for money as well, and cancel their Mecklenburg rival. That's pretty much it. This way we get a little bit of extra prestige also. And there you go. Now we are in a defensive war because we assumed our subjects war, namely the Volgast war, since they attacked us. And I can also call in all of my allies since this is a defensive war, so you can call your allies in it if you want to. I'm not gonna do it because me against Volgast 1v1 is quite easy to do, to be fair. And look at this, boys. Only 27 aggressive expansion for fully annexing Volgast, which means nobody goes into a coalition against us except Mecklenburg. If I was gonna vassalize Anhalt, I would definitely have a coalition of at least 5 nations. So you really need to think about how you want to manage your aggressive expansion when you play in the HRE, especially. Doesn't matter if it's Brandenburg or if it's as any country in the HRE. Also, let me get back this diplomat from here and start improving with my vassal now. And the super epic part is that we have a fleet in here, so we can actually attack them in the island of Rügen because our vassal's fleet is stationed in the South Baltic Sea. And the second as well as the third have been unlocked, which means we got 12 innovativeness, which means minus 1.2 all power cost. Every single thing that costs mana costs 1% less, which is a big deal since we got it so early on in the game. We got Volgast, so we can attack him over in the island of Rügen. Oh, no, that's bad. Okay, we don't have naval supremacy anymore, do we? Nope, we do not. I should have attacked them before I took Volgast. Okay, that was a mistake on my side. Lübeck declared on Lüneburg. What? Lübeck, you're so aggressive today, man. What the schnaps is happening here? That's basically my only expansion path here in Lüneburg because Mecklenburg allied Poland, so I cannot touch that for now. It's actually not such a bad thing though, because I could potentially vassalize Lübeck afterwards, since I plan on doing that anyway, right? And they have a lot more provinces. Surprisingly, the Renaissance actually spawned in Naples. Got nothing against Napoli, it's a beautiful city, but yeah, the south part of Italy is known for not being as enlightened as the northern part, sadly. Stettin is finally loyal, so we can ask them to siege down, or better yet, to be aggressive, which means they might sally out their fleets from here and attack the enemy fleets. But just so you know, if you don't have Stettin as a vassal and you just manually attack Volgast and they're stuck on the island of Rügen and you have no way of attacking them there because they have their fleets there, you will still be able to enforce your demands eventually after a few years have passed and you've basically occupied their country, with the exception of Rügen for a few years. It's just how the game works. Now we can get back this diplomat from here so we can enforce our peace deal and get some money in the process, apparently. Thank you very much. So yeah, there you go. 133 positive, 130 negative, which means we can fully annex all of this, and we just have to kill off the rebels in Rugen. That's pretty much it. There go, boys. It's only been 5 years, and we've already gotten one vassal as well as the rest of Pomerania for ourselves, which means we can now focus on the Teutonic lands. Or other opportunities depending on whatever RNG we get. But here's why I wanted to get those particular 5 provinces. Not only do I get the Pomeranian succession just with these 5 provinces, you don't need Stettin also for this mission, but I also get Show of Strength because I directly own 15 provinces within the German region, which offers me a ton of other claims on the western parts of Germany. So even though I cannot expand, say, in the Teutonic lands, or I cannot expand in Magdeburg or whatever, I can still attack these nations here because of my permanent claim. So I can just say, wait for one day, attack East Frisia if I want to, and make them a vassal, and then just expand in the rest of West Germany from East Frisia. Or the same goes for Oldenburg, Verdun, and so on. Actually, Verdun's... Holy mother of God, I just noticed. Lubeck fully annexed Lüneburg. Bro, what? Oh my god, this is so freaking juicy, and I can call in my allies. Woo! La 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 la. Alright, first let's get our rivals here. Let's not get ahead of ourselves because we got to get new rivals. So Brunswick Teutons, and let's also go for the Bohemians. And I have to make a really important decision. Verdun's super easy, and I can just very nicely vassalize Verdun. The same thing goes for Lubeck for that matter, right? I can just vassalize Lubeck. Albeit, because they expanded a little bit more, it would be a lot of aggressive expansion to vassalize them now. Also guys, if you enjoyed this type of min-max style video, let me know in the comment section. I plan on making this a series where I cover all the nations and I just min-max the schnapps out of them in the early part and then in the mid part if you guys want. So let's say if this video gets 10,000 likes, we'll do the second part where we min-max all the way into the 1550s, for example, as Brandenburg / Prussia. And if you enjoy the content, guys, consider subscribing. It really means the world to me and helps me out so much. That simple one little click there. And if you don't do it, that's fine. You don't need to subscribe. But then you're never gonna see your wallet back, are you, boy? You want the wallet back? Smash that subscribe button, okay? Smash. Okay, seriously, what the actual frack, man? I've never seen the Teutons ally Muscovy until now. Legit, not once have I freaking seen the Teutons ally Muscovy. Bro, what is up with this RNG, man? I mean, I'm not complaining. I had a pretty good start. But yeah, this is gonna cuck me massively. It means I have to wait until the Danzig event before I attack the Teutons now. Or at least until Muscovy does not join in a defensive war, which could happen once they attack somebody else, I guess. Oh, hold up. The Emperor just asked for unlawful territory, and Lüneburg's back on the table, boys. We're gonna get ourselves a little Lüneburg vassal. I got too excited. I'm sorry. I just got super excited right there. That came out of me without any sort of intent, I swear. 31 days because they just came out, so they didn't have any garrison. That's why we got it so fast. And we can now vassalize them, which means we can feed them back that one core that they have in Lubeck. We can attack Lubeck with the reconquest of our vassals' core, and we can even call in all of our allies. But before we do that, we're gonna be going back here and we're gonna be doing our estates once more. This time for Africa. I'm kidding. So no, this time we're gonna give out the strung duchies, supremacy over the crown. So we're giving all the schnapps now since we have the crownlands that we need. Now is the time when we also give out the minus 25% advisor cost reduction privileges for all 3 of these states. And of course we can summon the diet. Oh my god, seriously? Subjugation CB on Lubeck? The game knows what I want, man. It literally knows what I want. And we're also going to be seizing crownlands, which is going to give us a little bit of a rebellion here, but not a big problem. We can kill them off easily. Since we also gave out the strong duchies, our vassals are loyal and we got 2 extra diplo relation slots, so we're not losing diplo points because of our extra diplo relations from the vassals. Remember though, you can only give out that strong duchies privilege if you have 2 vassals, not PUs, not anything of the sorts. It has to be vassals. Looks like we also eclipsed the Brunswicki, and I think I'm gonna go for the Poles, maybe? Poland is our natural enemy over here, okay? Even though we got the subjugation CB against Lubeck, it is going to be the same amount of aggressive expansion as we would normally be getting by vassalizing Lubeck with the Conquest CB, but by using the Reconquest CB, we get less aggressive expansion by giving back the core to Lüneburg, our vassal, and just vassalizing for ourselves the rest of Lubeck. So that's the CB we're going to be using against them. We're calling in all of our allies because we're going to need help in this war. It's not an easy war. And I guess, Gott mit uns, as they say in German, right? Most of our allies attach themselves to our main army, but we actually need them to siege down Hamburg instead of attaching to us. So we're going to make sure that they don't attach to our army and just go ahead and focus on Hamburg 100%. Our king just died, and that means we can go for the permanent modifier of plus 25% chance of new heir, or we can get 1 stability and 10 prestige. I'm going to go for the permanent modifier. We could have also gotten a PU over Ansbach if Albrecht, the first heir, did not die before, but he did, and now we have a different Albrecht, the second heir, which is even worse than the first one. Oh my freaking dude, this is literally the worst time ever to call me in your war, Austria. Holy mother of God, seriously, the Liège war, the one war that every freaking time happens, no matter what, apparently. We're obviously gonna help out Austria and defend the empire because, well, the Austrians are allied to half of the HRE, so I don't think we're gonna need to actually fight the Burgundians ourselves. Looks like Lubeck just hired the Free Company, but sadly their Free Company is already Stärken Wappenikum. I didn't give them enough time to basically get morale to fight me. I'm starting to regret the fact that I joined in on Austria's side because Burgundy's focusing 100% on me and everybody else except the Austrians, so it's not really going great. On the bright side though, the Austrians are helping me kill off my rebels, so we got that going for us. We managed to piece out everybody else that was in the alliance of Lubeck, so now we just gotta focus on the city itself of Lubeck, and we are doing our best to ignore the Burgundian war. So now the Burgundians are actually mainly focusing on the Bavarian areas, so as long as I let them do whatever they want and I just focus on Lubeck, I should be a-okay. It's not like they can enforce any sort of thing on my lands as long as they don't occupy any of my provinces. Magdeburg killed off Anhalt, and then the Emperor made them release Anhalt out again, but I cannot attack Anhalt because I'm in a war on the side of the Emperor, so I cannot attack anyone really in the HRE right now until the war finishes with the Burgundians. This is a massively missed out opportunity. Easy kill, no alliances, no garrison, super easy, man. I guess sometimes RNG giveth and RNG taketh away, right? Oh, finally Liège pieced out and they gave Liège to Burgundy, which means Liège is now only in the province of Lune, not dead, not yet anyway. And it also means the Burgundians can bugger off and leave me alone. I'm tired of you bastards keep on intruding over in my lands. Leave Brandenburg alone, okay? It's not Burgundy, it's Brandenburg. I know it starts with the B, just don't get confused about it. Also, just realized I forgot to get my spy network in Lubeck. I thought I had one, but it was actually in Bohemia. And the Burgundian inheritance just happened. Burgundy becomes a junior partner of France. Oh, that's bad. Oh, the French are gonna get super strong now. I hope the Austrians actually contest this, because otherwise I'm gonna struggle with the big France over to my western parts. And after 800 days, Lubeck has actually fallen. Let's get our diplomat back actually from Lubeck. Or should I say Lübeck? Lübeck? Ludi is not pronounced Lubeck, it's pronounced Lübeck. Alright, so we're making them our vassal. We're giving back Lüneburg to our other vassal. And we're also making them cancel a rivalry with Verdun to get the extra prestige. No coalition because we've been in this war for quite a freaking while now. And the best part, boys, we've secured all of this area and we've secured the best trade nation in the Lubeck node. Look at this. In the Lubeck node, we have 10% ourselves and our vassal Lubeck has 13% of the node. And we're gonna get this 13% after we ask them to divert trade towards us. We can pay off Stettin's debt though, and that's gonna make them super loyal with us. And now we're gonna chill for a little while so we can wait for our manpower to go back up. And since we've expanded quite a little bit, it's gonna be a lot faster for us to to recover our economy and our armies compared to how it was 15 years ago when we started the game. Looks like Austria is demanding the lowlands from the French. Let's see what the French say. Fingers crossed that they actually give the lowlands so we don't need to go to war with them. Hey, it looks like they did give the lowlands. Interesting how Liège went over to Austria instead of, you know, Liège. It is absolutely vital that you change your trade capital to the Lübeck node and try and select the city that already has a little bit of extra trade power in it. So in my case, that would be Stralsund here, which has 8 trade power. It's not amazing, but better than everything else around. So I'm gonna switch on over my trade city here, and that means that the Lübeck node is the main trade node, and I have 25% of the Lübeck trade node right now. So after 1 month passes, this went up to 27%. So I'm basically collecting 3.8 ducats from this trade node because of my vassal Lübeck mainly. And I'm also going to be building some light ships to improve the amount of money that I get from this node. I'm also going to change my merchants around, so I'm going to make my merchants collect in the Saxon node as well as in the Baltic node. And yes, I am collecting in all 3 nodes because I don't have too much of a percentage in my main node, which is Lübeck, so it doesn't make much of a difference. I actually make a little bit extra money this way. We're talking about 0.7 ducats extra, but I'd rather get the 0.7 ducats from collecting instead of losing the 0.7 ducats from transferring. Hold up, my boy. Danzig is at war with the Teutons. The Polish Confederation has triggered. Oh my god, they actually got a lot of freaking land, man. Oh, this is not good. This is really, really not good. It means that they might actually fully annex the Teutonic Order, which means I might actually have to just attack the Poles after they integrate Danzig in that case. By the way, if you want to see my second best Brandenburg run so far, where I get the German Empire borders by 1515, you'll find a link in the description. And guess what? In the latest patch, I managed to get the German Empire borders by 1497 live on my Twitch channel. And if you haven't been there and you haven't seen it, you can check the link as well to my second channel where I upload the Vods with that particular run. So it's still doable in the recent patch, even though it's a little bit more difficult. But hey, I did it 15 years earlier and I literally used the same tactics I'm showing you guys now. That's why this video, it's shorter time-wise, only a few years we played for, but I'm really trying to give you guys my thought process and why I'm doing every single action in the game, in the hopes that this makes you improve your games and get those juicy achievements, whatever they might be, or just have fun in the game, which is what I personally enjoy doing. Truce is over with Magdeburg, so let's go ahead and attack them before they get any more allies. Right now they're allied to Würzburg. Okay. Oh, you know what? Würzburg is not a bad freaking idea, man. I'm gonna co-belligerate Würzburg, and I'm gonna also call in Mainz because I might be able to give Mainz parts of Würzburg. Let's go with the war. Should be fairly easy as well. And because they deleted the fort in Magdeburg, it's insanely fast conquering the Magdeburg lands now. That was the most well-timed rebellion ever. Killing off Regensburg army with my Volgats rebels is just la creme de la creme, isn't it? Reform-wise, I got a little bit backtracked with my reforms here because I got the event that offered me minus 25 reform progress like 3 or 4 times. I don't know. I got it a lot of freaking times. But whenever you do get it, go for the manpower edict first or reform. Then go for the autonomy reduction reform, advisor cost reduction, but change this one after your 3rd idea group is unlocked, so you get 2 admin policies, and then you can change it over to the clergy so you get another free admin policy aside from the default one. Then production, governing capacity, and the last one is up to you. If you want to stay a monarchy, obviously go for the absolutism. And when it comes to your ideas, quantity economic is my preferred choice, especially if I want to quickly unify the HRE or quickly get German Empire borders. And hear me out, I know you guys are thinking you should go for diplomatic ideas to get the extra diplomats to improve relations, lower aggressive expansion. You can do that if you want to lower the aggressive expansion, or you can just dismantle the HRE around the 1460s, which is in roughly 5-6 years from now, because I'm going to be dissolving this alliance after this war with the Austrians, but I am going to use them first in my war against the Bohemians. The reason I do this is because no HRE means less aggressive expansion, and you don't need to go diplomatic ideas. Instead, by going quantity economic, you get the manpower, you get the economy, you can crush everybody in your path all by yourself without having to worry about aggressive expansion, because you just win all of those wars. My boy Mines over here has a strategic interest in Fulda, so in my peace deal, I'm gonna give Fulda over to Mines, get some favors with them in the meanwhile, as well as all the money I can get, war reps, all that juicy stuff. And in the next war, if I want to vassalize them, I have some cores I can feed them back from my previous ally of Mines. If you know what I mean, I'm planning for the future, boys. That's how you should do all of your runs. You plan 10 steps ahead if you need to. Plant that little seed of core to be reconquered. And there you go. No coalition whatsoever, even though we've expanded like absolute crazy because of the prestige that we have and because of making vassals and knowing who to attack and when makes a massive difference. I have an aggressive expansion guide, by the way, if you guys want to watch it. You'll find that as well in the description below. Also, one very important aspect that not many people know, whenever you integrate a vassal or a personal union, all the provinces of that subject after integrated have 60 autonomy, so remember to lower the autonomy in those provinces, otherwise you're only getting 40% of the income and the manpower from them. I really enjoyed doing this type of video, to be fair, where I talk a little bit more in detail about everything. So if you guys did too, 10,000 likes, I will do the second part for this run, and if we get 15,000 likes, I'll do a similar video for Austria explaining every single step. And if you want to get this save as well, you'll find it on my Patreon, or if you are a channel member as well. So until the next time, check out this awesome Milan video. And I want to give a massive thank you to all of my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers. I would not be able to do this without all your support.